We should change the name of the show to Every Day is a Baby Miracle. That we start this show. I think we should record Sar texting me things that I need to do that I don't know how to do. Me trying to find pictures for stories that I realize won't make any sense without any pictures. Tori is nowhere to be found minutes before show.
I was in the wrong one.
Tori, you were like Rick James in Detroit in 1983. None. The promoter hasn't seen him in 2 days. The Paramount is packed. And they're about to say, we got to refund tickets. And Rick James pulls up in a white limo and a pink jumpsuit, like the show is here. That's how you pull up every single time. I love that. As long as you get here, girl, you're right on time. What's up, colleague? How are y'all?
How everybody? I was sitting in the other StreamYard. And I was like, why isn't he here? So anyway, we apologize.
Well, I was in the right StreamYard, and then Sar went in and deleted something. Somebody said, how do we get your music, Al? I'm glad you asked. Seriously, I do appreciate that. I created, I'm sure I've told this story before, but during the pandemic, just in a way to connect with my kids, I started making videos, but they kept getting copyright blocked. So I learned how to make music. Long story short, I ended up making an album under a fake group title, just like the Gorillas. So my fake group is called I May Unblock You. And you can find I May Unblock You on Spotify, on Apple Music, and on YouTube at I May Unblock You. And it's on Instagram at I May Unblock You Music. I don't know if anything's posted there yet, but yes. Yeah, grab it. And really, I honestly, and Tori, I feel like I made albums like this for people like us. Like, I think everybody on this stream every day is kind of a thinker. And I wanted music to kind of not be background elevator music, but just like, sometimes I don't want lyrics. I just want to think about something, but have some music playing. So that's the idea. And I made videos because I'm probably on the spectrum. Tori, how are you?
I'm good. I just had a really cool thing in a podcast I wanted to share with everybody. It's going to take 10 seconds, 30 seconds. Okay.
Keep it down to 27.
27 seconds. Okay. It was, if you guys know Jay, what is his name? Jay Shetty. And he does a podcast called On Purpose. Okay. And he had a guy from NASA that also worked at a toy company, this cool engineer. And he said this about life. I was so interested in this. He said, you should play life like it's a video game, because in video games, when like you're playing Mario Kart or whatever, and you realize that your shell opens like a different way, you are like, okay, cool, I'll try that next time I go. You know what I mean? Or you learn something like you can breathe fire, like you're like, awesome. Or I have to run faster. He's like, instead of seeing everything as like a failure, you can try and just be like, oh, cool. Okay, got it. So now I'll try again, but try it this way. And I thought that was so really, really interesting.
I really love that. And you know, it's hard to not look at everything. And we are going to talk in a little while, Tori, about I believe, what's his last name? I know it's his last name's Dubois, the young black guy at CBS that was just let go. And Maurice Dubois is leaving the CBS evening news. We know Gayle King and just a lot of black voices, including the black voice you're hearing right now, was jettisoned from television. And quite honestly, dog, it took me a while to get past the anger. But then also remember, Tori, that we are the talent. We are what made DBL go. Without us, DBL was just a studio. And I started remembering I can still talk to my goofy friend who I love every day. And we can still, I've laughed with you on this show as much or more than I ever did on DBL. And, you know, I just started looking at things differently and not looking at everything as a failure. And even if things are unfair, like I believe some of the layoffs at CBS have been, I believe our dismissal was unfair. But guess what? Life ain't fair, dog. You know, they were talking about Shedeur Sanders. I heard this ex-quarterback talking, and it was really interesting because what he was saying was everybody was saying Shedeur's coach doesn't like him. That's not fair. and he should get a chance. And this quarterback was saying the NFL isn't about giving you a chance. It's not about being fair. It just is. And sometimes you get on the team and you get a great coach and you go to the Super Bowl and your face is immortalized. And sometimes you get a coach that won't say your name in a press conference. But either way, you got to push on. And I think that's some exciting stuff to kind of, I don't know, Tori, snatch
I
back your.
I thought, yeah, and just so you guys know, I'm taking DBT therapy, which is dialectical behavior therapy, and we just learned this subject of radical acceptance, so that you like, what are the exact facts, not what your interpretations, not your beliefs about them,
I
but
think
what are
that's
they? Like,
great.
yeah, we got rid DBL, we were let go. That is a fact. Like, I can't change that, and the more I want to change that, I can't. So it's like you radically accept that and move and use that as your reality. And it's I'm trying. I'm trying.
Well, I would say that I was in just denial
Yeah, I'm
for
sure. Yeah.
up until like even a couple weeks after the show. Like that first week after the show was off the air, like even when we went home, I was like, all right, y'all, this is crazy, but
I know,
I'll
but
see y'all soon, right? It took a while before, what happened is there was a hashtag and it wanted me to use DBL in it. And SAR was like, DBL was more than a year ago. It's over. And just like the way she said it, it wasn't cold. It was just matter of fact.
yeah,
And it was like, you know what? She's right. We're on to,
that's your reality.
yeah, that our reality is friends from work. Our reality is the colleagues who hold us the F down every day. We appreciate it. Now, Tori, we're going to get into the stories a little bit early today. Before we get started, I do have to ask you, any weekend plans?
Um, um, I might have a new friendship blossoming with this woman, and I'm trying to like cement it as a friend. So we're gonna maybe meet for like a drink or something on Saturday.
I would pay all the money I have in my account to know your techniques to cement a friendship. Do you like do the act? You're like, I paid for this round of drinks. We're friends. Like how do you cement a friendship?
No, I mean, no, I think you just find things in common, see if you have the same value belief systems, and then you move from there, I guess. I don't know. It's not easy making new friends. It's not easy.
I think people say that it's hard to date the older you get. I think it's harder to make friends.
I think you're right. I think that's really hard to do.
I think it's very hard. I think that the older we get, first of all, we get more and more rooted in our ways and less tolerant to like that. Remember in college where you're like, oh, that's my hippie friend. She's kind of crazy, but I like, you were more tolerant. I think the older you get, you're like, I don't like her iced tea. So I told her to stop coming. Like the older you get, you kind of get more rigid. And
Mhm.
also, I think it's just hard to like, maybe this is just me being a stupid dude, but I'm just like, I don't know how to tell somebody like, do you want to be friends with me?
It's really
I don't,
weird.
I don't
It's
know how to
weird. It's
do that.
weird. Yeah. And you used to do that on like the playground, be like, "Hey, do you want to be friends?" And then that's your best friend for the rest of your life. And
You
now
would
it's like,
literally say it.
yeah, so now I'm like, it's just tough. It's really tough. And I'm trying to build community and I'm trying to build value in my life. And it's like incremental at the smallest pace. It's just
Mhm.
slow going. You know what I mean? Hello, everybody. Thank you, Shawnee
Yes.
says. Shanique, she says, good for you, Tori. I agree. It's difficult to make friends, especially as we get older. And I have one friend, Lauren, from when I was a baby, like that. She's still my very best friend. I'm
Is
so
that who you
grateful
went to
for
go
her.
see in San Francisco?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
See,
so
I'd be
grateful for her.
listening.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, you and Lauren hadn't talked in a while though, right?
Yeah, and then we got back in touch and I'm just so grateful, like so grateful because sometimes you just need like even one person or something, but very
Absolutely.
happy. Yeah.
Totally agree. Well, I was asking Tori if you were going to go out this weekend and have some drinks. Like our girl Tara Reid. Do you remember Tara Reid from I don't like I'm going to have to put it in the don't make fun of me. You
That's
let it
the
sit
worst
here.
picture.
It's really bad and I can't even crop it. Hold on. I meant to put it in the GD overlay. I'm
Oh
so annoyed
man.
at myself. There's like nothing. Do you remember her from American Pie? I'll put it in there.
Everybody remembers Tara Reid. Everybody just say yes. We all know who Tara Reid is, right?
Okay, well, did you
That's
know
the
that
I mean,
she
you're making me forget her with this picture.
it's a bad picture, Tori. We are both in agreement that I did a poor job. Okay? Well, Tori, the reason we're talking about Tara Reid and her three-fourths of a face is that she was claiming recently that she had her drink spiked at, and this is not, I'm not making light of this. She said that she had her drink spiked at at a kind of a swanky hotel. She was with a friend of hers, a male friend, and she kind of alluded that like maybe he had something to do with it, and he was really offended and put off by that. And they went back and they looked at the tape, and her drink was not spiked. It's just like she just had too much to drink, and this was the final result.
We can't, we can't see it.
I know it's bad, but that's her in a wheelchair sliding off. And I
Yes.
I was going to ask you, Tori, has there ever been a situation, not where you think your drink has been spiked, but where you've been out with one of your friends and she's like, I think somebody put something in my drink, and I'm like, I don't think they did. Because this guy was like, this is a close friend of mine. We've been friends for, I wouldn't spike her drink at happy hour, but I think sometimes when you're being wheeled out of an establishment, I think you gotta go with something, right?
Yeah, like this was her. It's called the spin in DC. You got to spin it. You got to spin it somehow. Like after a big press conference, people go into the spin room, and you just see how they're just spinning things. And this is Tara Reid's spin, and I'm not laughing because, like, clearly, I mean, I'm not judging at all. I have empathy. I like definitely drank too
You
much,
can't you can't
and
judge at all on that.
no, because I've been. I'm being honest. Like I drank a lot and it was just really unhealthy. I mean, that was bad. That was really bad. But she clearly has a problem. When the first comment on our thing was like Tara Reid is whack. Like she's very Britney Spears to me. She's very
Early
not health.
2000s.
Yeah, very like a little bit ago. She's just very worried for her. I keep seeing stories about this. She has some kind of problem, and I'm not a clinician, but this isn't right. This isn't right. It's
Well,
just
I mean, and it's
no.
not, you know what? It's not even making fun. I just look at her and a lot of, I mean, kind of Heather Locklear comes to mind. They were celebrities from the late 90s, early 2000s. And if you remember pre-cell phones, which kind of just by their mere invention, especially when the camera phone came along, altered the course of human behavior. Because Tara Reid is how celebrities used to roll, Jack. In 2000, people were shit faced, famous people, hammered.
On
I would
TV. Like
on, yeah. Oh my God.
yeah, like you would drink and smoke on Carson. Like that was like a thing.
Do you think that we need to have some space carved out for that? But, or do you think the fact that the internet is forever almost behooves people that are on camera to be sharp at all times?
I do think there's no privacy anymore. And Trump always said no matter where he went, no matter what he did, he always felt and believed that he would was being recorded. So that's why there's like no footage of whatever thing he said. And he said the golden shower thing was wrong. He's like, no matter what I do, I feel like I'm being recorded. So and I just think that's interesting that you probably are being recorded 90% of the time, you know?
Yes, thank you, Access Hollywood Tape. You were, uh, you
That's
know,
right. That's
and
right.
I mean, really, if you think about Trump, he's the first person that kind of changed the way people deal with scandal.
Right. Well, he pushes
The
forward.
act,
He goes
yeah,
on
the
offense.
Tory, you are a DC insider nerd. How many careers have you seen derailed and implode over something infinitesimally smaller than the Access Hollywood tape? But instead of stepping down, which you could tell all the Republicans, remember Mike Pence was like, I'm waiting for him to let me know when he's stepping down. And he just stood there. And after a while, people are like, oh, you don't have to leave after you've embarrassed yourself. And I
But
wonder
it's
how
really
many Al
it's
Frankens on the
right.
Democratic side had to learn that.
But I got to be honest, it's not everyone. Howard Dean made a sound and he has been cast away into the ninth circle of hell. And so they call him Teflon Don for a reason. He has the playbook of Roy Cohn, Roger Stone, and they're like, if you're in trouble, still go on the offense. So even when he's like showed the access, he's like, it's just locker talk, and then he'll move on. Like, he does not go on the defense, he does not apologize. And for some reason it works for him. It works for him. And he doubles down. So anyway, I do want to talk about this raccoon you guys are talking about. Al, did you see this story?
I absolutely did not. Let's discuss any kind of raccoon, because I'm here for that, but not before we do this, Tori, because this is raccoon chat.
I'm so sorry. I was just it was just
Here,
meant to be
this is a
like a
Thursday
thing.
story. I want to hear about it.
Okay, just so you know, yeah, a liquor store had, or I guess it was just it was a liquor store, had all
Oh,
this.
at Trash Panda, and it got
Ye-
shit faced and passed out.
the raccoon.
Yes,
Yeah, and he was ended up in the bathroom, and he was like
yes.
passed out drunk. I just thought that was really funny.
You,
He
you
was
know what
very wasted.
you know what I liked about that, colleagues, is that it shows that in a world where we are dealing more and more with your fate somehow being determined in some small or large part by the way you look, by how you identify, your gender. uh, Liquor is one of the only substances that doesn't care if you're a white guy from Seattle, a black man from Fort Lauderdale, or a raccoon from in the back of the alley. You are going to go in the store, make a fool of yourself, think that like you switch over at some point. When you're really drunk, you do this thing where you forget that you're a person in a store, and you're kind of like, this is my store, and this guy behind the glass is yelling at me. He needs to shut up because I run this thing. You forget that you're about to be arrested, and then you're like, get really sleepy, and you're like, I'm just gonna lay down right here.
I know.
One of
Take
my
take a little nap.
I don't know, have you ever had like a drunken angel, Tori? Like somebody that helped you out when you were drunk? I'll tell my story because I know if you think long enough, you'll think of one. When I worked for Carnival Cruise Lines, I was after you did your late show, you went to the club and got shit faced listening to Nelly songs. I mean, shit faced, because the drinks in the crew bar were $1. Everything was $1, so you're gone. And I just got back to my room, and I remember my room key. I did the thing. I was the guy that takes his book to the bar. Like, oh, you guys go party. I'm gonna read. Next thing you know, I'm drunk. I've lost my book, and my key was in there. So I get back to my room, no way to enter, and I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to sleep right here and just guard the front of my door. That is instantly fireable on Carnival. Like, you will be gone. They do not do public drunkenness. And I remember, I don't know, I'm assuming it was a white dude. He had kind of a South African accent, and he was with his girlfriend. And they went and got security, opened my door, and stood this black man up. And I was like, when you're drunk, you're like, I'm fine. And this white guy he's like, come on, brother. You can't do this, brother. Come on, man. Come on. And him and his girlfriend got me in my bed, took my shoes
Bless
off,
bless
and
them.
cut my light off and shut the door. I wouldn't know what they looked like if they walked up and shot me, but shout out to my two drunken angels that
That's
came and saved
amazing.
your boy. Yeah, come on,
That's
brother. You can't.
amazing.
He was just like, come on, brother. No, come on, man. And I was like, it's cool. It's good. It's not. It's not good. You're asleep on the floor at your job outside.
Man, those people come at the right time. We love them.
That is right. All right, Tori. Let's get on with our first story. Let's do something fun. Well, we'll do this one. We never do this. All right, Tori, I got a burning question for you on this Thursday.
Okay.
This was a real question written by a real mother who's got a son who is failing to launch. So I want to know what you and the colleagues' thoughts are. So,
First of
colleagues, you
all,
guys.
Marcy just gave us $10 for the drink with your friend. That is so nice, Marcy. Thank
Oh,
you. That's
yes.
really thoughtful.
Marcy, that's super sweet. And also,
So sorry.
even though I'll be having a mocktail, for whatever reason, mocktails are the exact same price as cocktails,
I
which I'm
know.
like, how did y'all even do that?
It's so annoying. They're $16. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, they got
Why?
an alcoholic drink. You gave me orange juice with Sprite in it. Why is this $16?
It's so
All right.
that's so annoying. Okay, continue.
I think they're like, we want you to have the full drinking experience like your compatriots that are drinking alcohol. I'm like, I'm good. Everything doesn't need to be equal.
Right.
Yes.
Just give me OJ and a Sprite. That's good.
All right. Tori, I want to know your thoughts on this story. Okay. It's titled 27-year-old son lives at home. No shade, whatevs. This economy, The summary is basically this. There's a new kind of trend starting, and it's called the failure to launch, or some people are calling it smart launching, when this woman's 27-year-old employed son still lives with her and her husband. She asked him to start paying rent. She said, how about $650? He said, how about you go F yourself? And she brought it down to $100. And he was like, did you not hear what I said after the $650? So Tori, what would you tell this 27-year-old who's sitting next to you at the bar? And he's like, hey, lady, I don't know you, but my mom is trying to charge me $650 in rent. I moved home to save money. I'm her son. Why does she want me to pay rent? What do you think? What would you say to this young man? And what would you say to the parents as an ultimatum? Because they can't just, OMG is right, Shelly. OMG is right, Shelly. So, Tori, what do you think? Somebody said evict his ass. W. Booker, do you? I've had a lot of my friends that have owned properties. It's real hard to evict somebody.
Hannibal Buress just talked about that. Yeah, Hannibal.
Did he really?
Talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, I was texting with Hannibal earlier today, and I know that he's owned some buildings. And I have friends that have owned like duplexes, especially in Cleveland. There's like 2 family homes, and you can just stop paying rent for like 3 months before they can even really do anything.
Yeah,
it's really bad. So, Tori, what would you tell this young man that's like, hey, I'm here to save money. I have your same DNA. Why are you being so mean, mama?
So I have to be careful because I was raised, and I've always been honest with you guys, very privilege isn't the right word, but I was raised like my dad did well, whatever. And the best
I
thing
don't know
they did
why
was,
people stumble over that.
I know.
That
He was
is
a
my
self-made
goal as
man.
a father.
He's
Like,
a self-made man. I know. You're absolutely right. I
yeah,
should be
like
more proud
you
of
should
that.
be very proud and be like, I grew up
Yeah.
with stuff. Like,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You got to
You're
get
right.
over that, dog. 'Cause that's a part of your upbringing, and you should be proud. Your parents
I am.
broke
I'm
their
really
effing
proud.
backs.
I
But
know.
I feel like you feel judgment coming on from us, the unwashed masses.
No,
And
I
even
don't.
no, but even if you do, I don't give a F. My parents worked hard. I don't care if you're uncomfortable. My dad worked really hard. And even if you didn't grow up with money, that doesn't mean that your parents didn't work hard. But
That's
it
true.
just means
That's
in
true.
your case,
Yeah.
their hard work actually resulted in higher financials. So, Tori, what
Yeah.
would you tell this kid?
Okay, so there is a way that you can get like enabled when you're raised in that way. And I know kids that have gotten that way where it's not even like spoiled. It's a certain type of entitlement of like, of course I need this. Of course I'm going to get this. And in some ways, the parents have become enablers or codependent on that relationship hierarchy. And so unfortunately, he either gets a job and pays what he can, or eventually you can't have him stay at the house, and you will change the locks and you will have him move out, and you will, because that's the only way to make someone like that actually motivate to do it. Otherwise it's like another alcoholic. Just let him have the drink, let him have the drink. It's like you have to have a hard line in the sand about, this is what I expect, the work ethic that will be done, and if that isn't going to happen, like this isn't going to work out. That's the only way. That's the best thing a parent could do, I think.
Yeah, and I think first of all, that's great advice.
I don't know if that's too mean, because I know that I've needed my parents' support before, but I would always have a job, always.
Yeah, you stay working, and needing your parents' support is one thing. Usually, you need your parents' support when you're not living in the house because you're
Yeah.
covering rent, utilities,
Yeah,
life.
right.
When you're staying at the crib, all those things are knocked way down. You're not
Yeah.
looking for parking. You're not buying groceries for the most part. You're not washing clothes at the laundromat. You're actually saving a lot of money. And I think
Mhm.
there's two ways to go about this. One, because I think the idea of like we're going to change the locks in
That
theory,
seems really aggressive. That seems
I mean, I'm,
aggressive.
I'm sure some people do have to do that with their kids, but I think it's hard, especially when you get older,
I can't
because
even imagine. Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible, but there is a part, and Tori, we've Sarah and I have seen this because we watch a whole bunch of Love After Lockup. There are a lot of mamas that don't mind having their baby boy back home.
Yeah, and
And
also
it's
I have to,
harder for
yeah,
him to move out than leave. And I think
right,
a lot of women are like, if you just told your kid, like, yo, I don't mind you staying here, but like I need the money. I'm not taking it because I'm planning to go to Rio at the end of the year. Like we need
right.
bills are due. So I think that
Yeah,
that's
that's fair. And I do have to say, like Lucy just brought it up, like she's Mexican, and so she has a 24 and a 25-year-old. Culturally, that's so totally true. Like that's so true that some people would be absolutely fine with it. But the go F yourself is where like I was like, this isn't the entitlement has gone to the other side of like this person doesn't know right from wrong and how to respect their parents, I guess. But yeah,
yeah.
I'm
I I I will
I don't
say
think I would have been
this.
that harsh that I said. I think I would have a really hard time doing that. But if they said go F yourself, I don't know. That's
And
another
I
level.
know people are like, well, that seems a little harsh. Did you read that right? I have seen that and heard that in real time. Hold on. I thought I had sneeze coming. It didn't. When I was in the seventh grade, Tori, I had my best friend, his name was Jimmy. His last name started with a T. So I used to go over to Jimmy's house every day after school because my dad was still working. And I would hang out with him and his brother. And it was the first time I'd ever, I don't know, I think they might have been Italian, but this is back when people didn't like care about that kind of stuff. So I don't know. They were some, I don't know. They were some ethnicity. I like them. I like their dude, Tori, his mom would get home and be like, hey boys, you left your book bags all on the floor downstairs. And like I remember one day Jimmy was like, Mom, shut the F up. I have company. And Jack, his brother, would be like, don't tell mom to shut the F up. And the dad would come home and be like, what the F is all this yelling? I come in this sheet here. And I mean, it is like 5:10 on a Tuesday. I'm like, my house has got an old black man in it. It's quite like I was so stunned. But there's some places where people tell their mom to shut up. And I
Yeah.
think
No.
it's so insane to me, but I have seen it. So, all right, let's get to this very quickly. All right, Tori, we're not going to do too many bummer stories, but our administration always makes sure that we've got a couple for you, and I know that you love them. All right, Tori, all right, Tori, let me hit you with this because you're a political junkie. Halle Berry has got some beef with old G Newsom. Have you seen this?
A little Gavin Newsom beef about
Yeah,
menopause.
little Gavin Newsom beef about menopause care. What she says is the actress and advocate publicly criticized the California governor at a recent summit. She called him out for vetoing a bill that would have expanded insurance coverage for menopause hormone therapy, uh, stating that because that he overlooked women and that he probably should not be our next president. Tori, I know. I wanted to do this story because I wanted to ask you a bigger question than the beef between Halle Berry, Cleveland's own, and Gavin Newsom. Do you think the left is in a position where we can be having inner squad squabbles?
I was just thinking that. I was like, infighting is something we probably can't afford to be doing.
Seems like a luxury.
Yeah. And if I were Halle Berry, might I go about, and I'm not blaming Halle Berry, but like Gavin Newsom has been a really strong torch for the Democrats right now, especially against Trump. Could I have approached it differently by going to him and trying to sponsor or help with a bill, or make a have some publicity about it? You know what I mean? And maybe she tried and she couldn't, so her only way to do that is by calling him out. Totally fair, but we got to keep together, people. We got to stay together.
I think this is the one of the few times where it's kind of like if we're on a life raft and I'm like, look, we're all me, you, and Sar. We all have equal voices on this life raft. And you're like, Al, my arms are tired. I'm like, we can't do that right now. You gotta shut that down, buddy. I can't see land anywhere. Like there's a point where we are at DEF CON 5, I think is the worst one. And I think this kind of in a weird way, I wouldn't say backfired on Halle Berry. I wouldn't go that far, but colleagues, do you think it shows a little bit of her privilege that yes, this is an important issue, but Tori, we're about to do stories where the government is coming to get Somalis in Minneapolis. That we have troops in almost in many major cities. We have a looming, never-ending child essay assault ring scandal. We have so much stuff. We have tariffs. We have a lot of things going on, and I don't know if we can start like Xing off maybe our best or second best potential presidential candidate because you didn't like the way he voted on a very important bill. I'm pro menopause, but I think maybe you're famous. You go around the corner and be like, why'd you veto that? Maybe we could
Well,
get the
yeah,
messaging
like,
down.
could they not have gotten their people together to have a conversation and maybe go on live with it and be public about it and really open up the floor to discuss menopause, which is what Halle Berry is trying to famously do, bring awareness about how to talk to your doctor, everything like that. But I just kind of, yeah, Michelle Rui says, totally, everyone needs to lock arms. It's like Red Rover level at this point.
Absolutely. And even if he did pass it, what do you think the Trump administration would do? They're taking people's health care and
Yeah, that, yeah,
tossing it in the off the pier. So no
yeah,
matter how great that legislation was, another 4 years of Trump, I mean, another 4 years of Trump like, well, 3 years of him and then 4 years of a Trump like figure, and we won't need to be worrying about any of that. All right, Tori,
yeah.
I love
Are
to
we
use
gonna?
this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's do
Please.
this. This one's for you. Tori, I wanted to do this story because it was a little weird, but also informative as people are traveling on this during this holiday season. The TSA, Tori, is urging travelers to avoid packing these two items. Before we get to it, what are your guesses, my darling dear?
Something with like that has a battery that like, oh, like an alarm
Good,
clock. Okay. Like
good.
I bet that it goes off a lot and it's so annoying. Like something like a something with a ring, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
then maybe is the second like an e-cigarette?
No, a lot of people travel with those.
Okay.
Uh, by the way, my favorite text conversation ever. He won't mind me saying his name. My boy Brian Babylon. He'll probably be on this pod at some point. Famously, he's one of those guys that just has always taken his medicine, his green medicine that comes from the earth. He just traveled with it, and I was like, dude, aren't you scared you're gonna get caught? And he goes, I did. And I was like, "Where were you?" He goes, "Sweden." And he was like, "I know." And I was like, "How'd you get caught?" And he was like, I was like, did one of those drug sniffing dogs get you?" And he just sent me a screenshot of Scooby on Shaggy's shoulders. And I was like, "Yeah. Yeah, so no. What they're first of all, you knocked the first one out of the park, girl. The first one is don't travel with any kind of clock, anything that kind of looks even like a charger that's got several like wires coming out of it, anything that
Yeah.
looks like bomb adjacent. And also they said that you don't want to travel with wrapped gifts.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, I can understand that, right? I mean, like, can you wrap
What's
it?
the x-ray for then?
Huh.
What, it can't see through candy cane
It's a
wrapping?
really good point.
That's all the
Huh.
terrorists have to do. It's like they're gonna catch us quick, hand me some Snoopy paper. Yeah, it's a very like, maybe y'all should not say that.
That's actually a really good point.
Have you ever been pulled for a secondary screening?
No, I've only been pulled for a primary, but I was in Amsterdam this past September, and they went through every one of my bags, every one of my sisters, and every one of my dads. Like picking up items. Like, I've never seen it so secure. I was like, dang, that's harsh. But yeah, have you gone to a second screening?
Oh, yes. Yes. But before we get to my story, this actually unlocked a memory I had when I went to Syracuse for shows a couple weeks ago. I don't know, Lamb, are you on this thread? I don't know if you remember, Sar, but when I was coming back from Syracuse, maybe I texted her, maybe I was on the phone with a friend, but I had gone through security untouched, they let me go, and I'm waiting for my bag to come out of the scanner, and something caught my eye, Tor. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and I'm like, what's going on? And it was kind of this 42-year-old white woman, just looked like a regular citizen of Syracuse. Tori, they were up in her shit. Tori, they were up in her. Do you understand when I'm saying they were giving her a pat down? I have flown thousands of times. I'm flying in less than 24 hours. I have never seen anybody get patted down. She was wearing like a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants, very like nothing. The woman first grabbed her wrist and held her jacket, and then like did like the wrist thing where she like snaked all the way, like she felt that something was in there, and then she got up underneath her bra and was doing this thing to try and get anything to pop. I mean, Tori, she had two hands on her one breast, pushing it up to the point where me and these other white women were like, what is going on over there? And this one white woman tried to get the TSAs back. She was like, well, that's a little offensive. That's disrespectful to her, but I'd rather that than there be a bomb on the plane. I'm like, yes, but there are other rooms to do that. Tori, they were like both hands, palm side on the inside of her thighs, going up. I don't know what they thought this woman had, but I think you can tell by my reaction that I was really jarred by that. I had
That's
never seen any.
crazy.
And I've been pulled into that second room, and that is terrifying
That
because
is terrifying. That is really scary. And yeah, so how many times have you been pulled into the other room?
the other room,
Like,
three times. Once in the UK, I was expecting it. Once in Australia, which was very weird, because me and all the comics landed, and we were at baggage claim. We were like through the customs part, and as soon as my bag came, this Australian cop came and was like, "Can you come with me, please?" I mean, in like three, and all the other, we had a white female comic with us, and she's from New York. She was like, "Why'd you just pick him?" Like we've been in the country 27 seconds, and she
wow.
like so weird. But the time that I got pulled into security here in Denver, there was something in my bag, and they kept running it. And I was like, "What's going on?" They pulled me into that side room, and it's all white. There's nothing on the walls. And you get in there and they tell you to stand in the corner, like away from your bag. And two men just went through my bag and took it apart. No one was talking. They're done. And I don't know what they thought was in there. And then when they find nothing, they just give you your bag and like, have a good flight. You're like, I was like, I'm probably going to miss my flight now. It took like 20 minutes.
That's
So
insane. That's insane.
I don't know. So sorry to get off on that jag, but two
No.
things that kind of jarred me. So Tori, let's talk about this. We talk about Trump doing bad things. Let's see if this is a good thing. Donald Trump, more celebrity than politician, I would argue, is trying to do something to circumnavigate the affordability crisis going on in this country. Tori, have you heard of Trump bonds? Is that what they're called? Where do I have this? A Trump account. Have you heard about opening a Trump account?
Yeah.
What, what do you
Yeah.
what do you think about it? Would you like me to tell everybody briefly like what it is?
Sure.
Okay, really quickly, it's a financial trend that involves opening an account. I believe the kids have to be between a certain age. It's like 5 and 12 or something. Let me see. Okay, eligibility: children who are U.S. citizens born between January 1st, 2025, and December 31st, 2028. That's a narrow window. and they're eligible for a one-time $1,000 contribution. So basically, your uncle federal government will give you $1,000. Isn't that like a savings bond?
Yeah, it's like from now until the end of his presidency, he has this like way of buying in, and it's another business scheme. Like the man is obsessive compulsive about this. I do want to warn people like Trump University, Trump wine, Trump water, Trump steaks, Trump, any Trump organization that has Trump charities. They are now banned from being a part of any charity in New York. They are all really taken down in a very shameful way with a lot of scams. So I would never ever want to be part of anything that has Trump in the beginning of it. Most of them go bankrupt, and he's gone bankrupt several times, but it's just not a good idea. I would never ever go for that. If you want to, go ahead, but I cannot be interested. Yeah, I heard that too, Sylvia, that the Dell family is bankrolling this. I would just think that's just a terrible plan.
I guess in theory, if you get $1,000 bond and it sits there in accrues interest over the course of 18 years, that would be something. I mean, but who knows what the cost of college will be at that point. My thing was like when I saw the Dell family, I'm like, why do all these rich people back this shithead? No
Because they want
shade.
favors. They want favors from him. They want better taxes and they want favors. So anyone that paid for that ballroom is in the top of his list of things that he owes favors to. He is a quid pro quo president, like I said. And so the more you give, the more he gives to you. It's so true. And he pardons you if something, God forbid, happens. It's just, um, yeah, that's very strange. I just stay away from like being the mint while you're also the president. I don't know. It's like I would not trust anything to do with this. Anything. Nothing. Zero.
When your dad was on with us, Tori, he said something that I'm clinging to for hope. Because I said to him, I'm kind of an absolutist. And after Trump 1.0 and now 2.0, I was like, how can there be rules anymore? Because every rule we've had, whether it's the emoluments clause, whatever, they're making billions of dollars, Tori. Hey, we leave the White House as is for the next president. Whatever, we're building the ballroom. Everything that they want to do, they just do. So how do we get back to some kind of normalcy for the next president? Because I know if I'm a Democrat, I'll tell you this, Tori, if you want to keep it 100, I don't want to hear this shit about the Republicans said no. Because the Republicans never say like, yeah, we were going to do something really. You want more ICE? There's troops there. You want to send Kilmar Brago back with no trial? Fine. You want to blow up fishermen's in the Caribbeans? All right. Like, how do we then come back in 3 years and like we're going to Senate judiciary hearings and we'll have to retry that. I don't know if I want to hear that, Tori. I feel like either they're rules or they're not.
Not for Trump, not for Trump. And again, I've always said this, he's the aberration president. He's the president that gets away with things constantly. And I've said this before, no enforcement. There's no enforcement in this administration whatsoever. But it is a rarity that I don't think other people can get away with, including I can't think of another
I do
Republican.
tend to agree with that.
Like it's only him. He's the Teflon Don. And once that sunsets, and goes down, you don't have someone in that party that can get away with anything. It's insanity. But that's why we also need stronger Democrats. You need powered up. That's why Mamdani, people like the energy, the youth, the ability to use social media as a part of your politics. And they like the leftist version. They're going to go that absolute route. But it's a weird timeline we're in because it's sort of the beginning of authoritarianism. We're getting to see what that sort of is like. And we're just sitting here watching it. And there's no enforcement. Just none. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
Tori, do you
Yeah.
know what I'll be watching tonight?
Love After Lockup.
No. Oh, girl, we're watching Thursday Night Football, boo. I got to come pick Sarah up. Why don't you come over for the game?
I could do that.
And really?
Yeah.
I was ready to argue with you.
No.
All right, well, I'll pick you up at like 5:15.
Oh, I have yoga. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
you're such a bullshitter.
I swear to
You're
God.
such a bullshitter. Stop yoga for one night and come watch football with your dumb friend and Sar.
It's your canopy thing has been booked.
You don't have to go.
Yeah, I paid for it.
Yeah, it's not back surgery. It's the same
I
stuff.
need
Put your ass in the air. It's
it's
hot in
only
here.
till
Somebody farted.
6:30. Can I come over after?
I have a show tonight, so you can keep Sar company while I'm at my show.
Okay, no, I'm okay. I wanna be with all of you.
I will. I mean, I'm coming back. I'm not like one of those
No, but I
dad
don't
that
wanna
like
bother
feels to get
Sard. I feel like no, don't do
bother.
that.
She's gonna be watching the game.
I know, I don't wanna just
I'm
I
picking
don't know,
you
I
up,
feel bad.
dog.
Well, I'm going to yoga, so there's no one here.
When do you get back?
6:30.
Why don't you just come over after yoga?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, just come over. Stop
Sorry, I
being
just didn't wanna
weird.
bother you. Okay, she said come
All
over.
right, it's time for vibey Sports. Tori is going to be in the building. We will have footage. I will bully her until she does. Tori, the Dallas Cowboys, my girl Sarah's favorite team, her beloved Cowboys, are going to where? Big D. That's right, Detroit, home of, dare I say, the real America that started our car companies, has shown us what a tough, gritty city, how they can rise from the ashes and become a major American city once again. They're going to play the Lions in their coach, Dan Campbell. Now, Tori, the beginning of the season, it looked like Dak Prescott and the rest of the Cowboys were out the game. But you know what?
They're coming back.
They said, you know what? Hand me my saddle, bro. Point out which horse is mine. And they got back on that horse, Tori, and they're riding all the way up to Detroit. Now, Detroit and their amazing running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's going to have a little something for him. So, Tori, this is a close one. This might be our toughest game to call so far this year. Tori, do you think that the Detroit Lions will be able to defend their home field, Ford Field, I believe? Or will Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens go in there and be like, nah, this the Lone Star State. Nah, bruh.
You're
Now,
weird.
the Lions are favored by 3.5 points.
Really?
So, yes. So the Cowboys are underdogs.
Am I right? Yes, that's a good question, Julia. What is the weather like in Detroit?
I think they play in a dome.
Okay. And secondly, did the Cowboys not just take a really good win, like 21-0 or something?
No, I don't think it was 21-0. They won by 3. I think it was 31-28, but it was a big victory for them.
Okay. Okay. I have to say,
by the way, Sea Dog just said Detroit basketball. Sea Dog, do you think I don't yell that in my house at least twice a week? I am a Cavs fan and I love the intro for the Detroit Pistons. We'll talk about that.
Detroit basketball.
Yes, that's why I love you. It gets me so hype. And like sometimes like I would just sit in my car before a show and just listen to the introduction of the 1996 Bulls. That music would get me so effing, yeah. And then just like from North Carolina, and the crowd would just go. I mean, we started the show talking about cell phones. And I think now if that happened, of course, if Michael Jordan's coming out, everybody's like this, Tori. But there was a period of time
you were just there.
Everyone was there. And
Yeah.
that's why it was so special. I've had friends that grew up in New York and told me like they've been at games at Madison Square Garden where they literally thought the roof was going to cave in because people were screaming. And
the
now
three-peat winners.
Yeah, now
North
I think
Carolina.
people would be like, we got this. And that's a different kind of celebration.
Absolutely.
All
right, listen, I am
so let's get into this.
Vibing with the Cowboys. Now, I went to Michigan, and I apologize to all my Detroit fans. I love the show Detroiters. But I have to say, I definitely have a feeling that the Lions are on a momentum, and I think they're going to take it to go over Detroit Lions.
Wait, the Lions are on a momentum to go over.
No. The Cowboys. I'm so sorry. The Cowboys are on a momentum, and they're going to overtake the Lions.
Okay, well, what should we look for, especially on the offensive end from the Cowboys, if they are to take this upset victory?
I definitely think you should look at their third down. Their third down plays are going to be creative. They're going to be different. They're going to be really trying to run the ball. A lot of running.
Which running back do you think should get the lion's share of the carries tonight for the Cowboys?
Henry.
What about the running back for the Detroit Lions? They've got two really good ones. What are their names, and what should we expect out of both of them?
Wally and Eva are their names, and I think that
Mm.
they both are they have a grudge. That's what you got to be careful about. They have a grudge. They have some grudges.
Okay. Tori, you have picked the Cowboys, but you have not given us a final score. So go ahead and hit us with it,
It's
because
gonna
the
be
last one,
low. It's gonna be low.
by the way, last time, Tori, you predicted the score was 35-21,
Yeah.
with the Giants losing, the Giants having 21. The final score was 33-15.
Oh,
And if the Giants
whoa.
hadn't played like absolute poop, they would have got to 20, 21 points. So that was
Whoa.
not far off. So
Yes.
yeah, so I'm kind of like excited by your Nostradamus type prediction. So Tori, I'm writing this down. All
Okay.
right, you
I
have
think it's gonna be
Dallas
Dallas Cowboys, and I think it's gonna be like 17-14. That's what I'm feeling.
17-14 over the Lions. The
Yeah.
two highest scoring offenses in the league are going to combine for 31 points. Hey, look,
Yeah. Yeah. And then
sometimes
a
that
good yeah.
happens.
Yeah. And that's what will happen. And the Cowboys are gonna, you know what? They're gonna be on a momentum swing. I just feel it for the Cowboys.
Okay, now obviously we're not going to talk before next week, but as a diehard Browns fan, Shador is playing his third game. They're playing a very bad team, the Tennessee Titans. The Browns are favored. Tori, do you think my Browns will win this weekend? And be honest, if you're not feeling it in the ethos, like you have to be
I
true to the
am. I
start.
think they'll take the Titans. I think they will. I have a feeling they'll take the Titans, but it'll be close. It won't be a great game for the Browns.
Okay, I think that's very true. Give us a score.
um 21-12. Is
Okay,
that a score that
21-12.
you could do?
Absolutely. Any score will do. I was actually quite proud of you on that one. That was well done, girl. All right, let's get to one more serious story and then we'll get up out of here with a Tory fun fact. Let's do this one 'cause we got to talk about it. All right, Tori, we're going to talk about a city that I was just in a couple weeks ago doing the 10,000 Laughs Festival. Minneapolis, one of my favorite cities in the freaking country. I went to the Super
Yes.
Bowl in Minneapolis. It was an amazing game in a really great city. It was cold as balls up there, but it was worth it. All right, Tori, Minneapolis and their large Somali community is bracing because ice is on the way, and not the fun ice that comes with weather. This is the ice that was like in that first story that just still lives with their parents and is mad and just like, hates women and themselves. And so they go after undocumented people that are not allowed to defend themselves as long as their faces are covered. I have a lot of issues with ICE. But Tori,
So
I'm
does the Constitution.
really worried about it in Minnesota because Somalis have what Trump always does whenever he gets into trouble. Obviously, the Epstein thing's not looking good. The economy's in the shitter. He's like, I could harass some black people.
That's his
We saw
go-to. That's his
right.
go-to.
We saw that with the Haitian community. Remember they were eating dogs last
Eating the
year, which
cats. Eating the
in
cats.
cats nonsense in the Venezuelan gangs. But it was mainly like they just went after a Haitian community. I believe it was in Springfield, Illinois, just because they needed a distraction. And when in doubt, go after some people that can't defend themselves. Okay, so it says tensions are high in Minneapolis as reports of targeted ICE operations in the Somali community have begun. This follows rhetoric from President Trump regarding deportation efforts. Protesters have gathered at airports, and local leaders like Governor Tim Walz, who did you see the clip of Trump calling him the R word?
Sure did. And a Republican from Indiana has now backed off of his bill for gerrymandering because his son has Down syndrome and says, "How dare you?" I mean, that was his line, was like, "How dare you use that word?" And that was during his Thanksgiving Day tweet or whatever, Truth Social. You use the R word like that. How shameful. We
Yeah,
cannot even look up to this president,
he
not
also
once.
called
Okay.
Pritzker a fat slob during his pardoning of the turkeys. I don't think even though we talk on this show for hours every week, that we could even cover everything that has happened. It's like every
I can't.
hour they
It's
do
gonna get me.
something.
No, this is why I don't do yoga. Let me just say something. Minnesota and
Please.
Minneapolis have had a hard time, especially George Floyd, Ferguson. We've had a lot of situations, right?
Well, Ferguson
The
was in Missouri.
Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. I always get that wrong. I'm so sorry. I just hope that the Minnesotans, sorry,
Minnesota, don't you know? Yes,
don't you know
Minnesotans.
Minnesota? I hope the community, and what you just said gives me hope about the airport. I hope the white community or whoever is in Minnesota that is predominant. In my mind, I just thought it was mostly white. I hope
It
they
is.
get I hope they get the backs of these people because they have been in their communities. They have paid and uplifted that state, and they have been there for years and years and years. And I would think that as a rabbi, as a priest, as the head of the mosque, imam, you step up your community and say, "I will get their back." And we're starting to see that in like the Chicago area. Really did that. People backing up and putting um, planters. I saw people trying to stop the ice people from even coming. And you need an entire community like that filming all the time this outrageous war on America. This is so outrageous that we're not dealing with things outside, but we're starting wars inside. I mean, they call him the war hawk indoor president. He like wants to solve peace in Russia, in Ukraine, in Gaza, in Israel, but he
That's
wants to
interesting.
start wars in the US. So it's another telltale sign. The Central Park 5. He is all he's his father was in trouble for not renting to people of color. It has been a bigoted family, in my opinion. And I think when distraction needs to come, go after the people of color. And I hope that they get their back. I really, really hope they get their back.
I think they will. I think what
I think so
happens,
too.
Tori, is the first time ice hits the ground, everybody's kind of caught flat-footed and they're like, what do we do? What can we do? This is very scary. But we have seen communities start to rally with
Yes.
whistles, with
Yep.
letting
Portland.
people know absolutely Portland. And what happens is once you figure out what they don't like to do, word spreads because
Yes.
we do have our communities back. And yes, Minneapolis is a very white city, but Somalians are a big. You cannot tell the story of Minneapolis without the
Amen.
Somali. It's like the Polish population in Chicago. There
Yeah.
are just places that are synonymous with certain cultures. And when I was doing the festival last week, I started off a show by saying, um, I I promise I'm going to do my jokes, but I just want to say shout out to your Uber drivers because I've had some of the most pleasant Somali folks, at least are very warm people and just like very pleasant in their car and just like yeah, they were just very warm people. And I guarantee you that the people of Minneapolis see this as an infringement of no different than their any other citizen. They're
I hope
entrenched
so.
city. And I think Minnesota is about to stand up and show ICE what's up. And one of these days, Tori, I'll tell you this: I don't want anything from my birthday. I don't want any parties. I don't want anything. I just hope one day we get to unmask these ice guys and they get what's coming to them because they've taken a lot of joy shoving around daycare attendants, shoving around old ladies at their grandkids' graduation. And, everybody will have their day. And I hope that you guys will have yours there at ICE. But I hope you have a bad one. You know who I want to have a good one, Tori? Our colleagues. But we're not having any kind of day until you give us a fun fact to go out on this weekend.
Okay. I have one and I don't know if this is like good or not, but I'm going to say it. Yeah, the tough guys. You know what they are? They're cowardly bullies. That's what they are. Anyhow, um the margarita pizza was named after the queen of Margarita, and the colors are supposed to look like the Italian flag.
Next.
Okay. So
I
mean.
do like when you can feel like your first one is in your head, and so you're like, and also
Oh
Margarita
my
was known to be quite a hoot at the dinner table.
god. Okay, here's one. Um sorry. One second. Here it is. Um here we go. Mm, here we go. Okay.
Good Lord in heaven, Tori. What is happening over there?
Okay. Here we go. There are parts of Africa in all 4 hemispheres.
Was the word hemisphere on a different page or something? Okay. Have you heard, and I'm sure I want to look really quick to see what the colleague said. Have you heard that Africa has been, of course, its size has been purposely distorted,
Yo,
and
many
it's
times.
way like on maps.
It's famous. I mean, the ethnocentric way that maps are built. Africa is enormous compared to what you are normally seeing in a standard map. We learned that in college to look out for that so carefully because it makes you think, what's the center of the world? And you think of America and you think of Europe, and it's absolutely, the map making was a white ethno-European centric way of who made the maps? The map makers, and they're from the Spains and the Italys, and they're all, and they don't, and that's the way it got played. And Africa was disproportionate for years and years and years. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
sorry.
I will no, I'll just say no. You're right. I just my buddy Brian, who I talked about in Hannibal, they went to Nigeria. They were in Lagos,
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
do you know how many people live in Lagos, just a city?
It's huge.
120 million.
It's very densely populated.
That's a third of this country in one city on the continent of Africa. And I was like, Babylon, his name's Brian. I was like, Brian, what was it like being in a city that big? He was like, I don't know, dog. It's like 120 Atlantas all stuck together. And I was like, that's a great way to think
Totally.
about
That's
it.
a lot of people.
It's
That's
a
lot of
hundred.
people.
Like Hannibal was like when he had to go to the airport, you leave like 6 or 7 hours before your flight because your car is crawling through traffic. It's incredibly dense. So I
Dang.
cannot believe I have not been anywhere in Africa yet. I had a couple gigs fall apart over there. That's one of my life's goals. But
That's amazing.
my main goal is to continue the show going, and we will do that on Monday. We will have pictures of Tori at Thursday Night Football tonight. It'll be great. You can keep Star company while I'm at my comedy show. And if you are in Ohio, in the Dayton area, why don't you come on out to the Funny Bone tomorrow night? 1 show tomorrow, 2 shows Saturday night, and then Sunday we all get together and we'll watch the Browns get a victory. What do y'all say, colleagues? So on behalf of Sarah, who I don't know where she is, maybe
She's right there.
working.
She's been writing.
I don't see her. Oh, she's
done
writing?
Friends from Work.
I know, but I don't see her picture in here.
She wrote, not Senorita Margarita.
My loafers are, it depends on which kind you want, but they're usually between $29 and $39. So if you do want to go to Nico and Jolie, you can check them out on Etsy. Check out Nico and Jolie. Please just take a look and leave a 5-star review, even if you don't buy anything, but you should, because they're super dope shoes. So with that said, on behalf of myself,
I can find them on Etsy. It's Nico. That's Nico.
Yes, let me see if I can get the banner up really quickly.
And it's Jolie. Is that right?
Yes. It is. Well, maybe Sar will write it in the chat. I mean, why would you think that I would, be able to promote my own freaking shoe line? This is what happens with people.
Right. I know.
I can't do both.
Exactly right. I can't. I know.
It's so embarrassing though. It's like, how do you find your site? And I'm like, I don't know. Gumption.
I know.
It's so bad. But yes, it's Nico, Nico.
CO, not K.
Yeah, Nico and Jolie. It's my kids' middle names, Nicholas and Jolie. So Jolie. So Nico and Jolie at Etsy. But in the meantime, Tori, I love you, girl. I'll see you later today.
Wait, someone just wrote, normally wanted the recording, but listening live is so much better. What up, Maria? Thanks so much.
Yes, Maria, this is how we do. I couldn't imagine just, at first I was like, should we go live every day? I couldn't imagine pre-recording because I don't care what you say. Being live is a little bit, you're up a little bit more. If we're recording, I'll be like, oh, hold on. I think I got to go to the bathroom again. Like you're just kind of assing around. I like, let's get to it, dog. Keep some energy in there. So
I agree. We love live. Let's do it live.
We'll do it live. All right, Tori. I promise I'm leaving this time, but I love you. Sar, I love you. And colleagues, I truly do love and appreciate y'all. You guys keep us going. Have a great weekend. Watch some
Love you
football.
guys.
Tell us how your tell us how your team's going, and we'll see you on Monday. Love y'all. Bye.